If you're not a fan of snakes, you won't want to hear this, and you probably don't want to look at that. Snakes are more active than usual right now. 10 News reporter Colter Anstad shows us what wildlife experts say you need to know. The guy you see here is going through some pretty intense workouts twice a day, 6 days a week, because he's getting ready to compete on the hit NBC show American Ninja Warrior. Jesse Johnson lives and trains in Roanoke, and he has an alter ego that will also make a special appearance on the show. He's the man who walks on stilts and has brought you Hokietron, Spartantron, and a host of other stilt walking creations. Now Jesse Johnson is working on something new.
I'm thinking about making a new one, Ninjatron.
As he jumps, bites, and climbs his way to an appearance on the hit NBC show American Ninja Warrior.
Look at this.
Great job.
It's just nuts to think that they picked me.
Jesse submitted this audition video
I grew up strong for a teeny tiny chapter.
and says it's been a whirlwind of training at Ferguson Fitness in Roanoke since he got the call.
Always been into fitness and sports and stuff, so I've always kind of been training for something, whether it be a running event or a Spartan event.
Ferguson Fitness owners and coaches pushed Jesse to try out for the show.
He has, good movement patterns, and it's some of that's just natural, and I think it's training throughout a lifetime, but it's also very natural too.
They hope Jesse's American Ninja Warrior run can inspire others to get moving, especially children.
I hope that kids all over just say, I'm ready to start exercising and I want to be a Ninja Warrior.
The whole Ferguson Fitness family and the rest of Jesse's family and friends are super excited for the competition in Miami next week.
They're all just supporting me and encouraging me. They're all saying that I can do it, and it's really pumping me up.
And again, that competition in Miami is April 13th and 14th, and Jesse is raising money for the trip. We have some more information on WSLS.com, how it works. If he moves on from the round in Miami, then he'll have an opportunity to go to Las Vegas, where they have the big competition.
So will he be on TV in Miami?
We will see.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pretty exciting.
I know. It was so fantastic meeting Jesse. So yeah, it was a good time. We wish him the best of luck.
We sure do. That's all for 10 News at 5:30.
Your 90 minutes of news continues right now. Yeah, John and Lindsay, it was gorgeous out here today for our wall raising ceremony. And this is the 4th home that we built since 2014 in partnership with Habitat for Humanity. So here's the thing. When we first got out here this morning, the only thing here was the foundation and the flooring. And then a few minutes later, that's when we raised this wall. This is all a part of a greater effort to help revitalize and re-energize this neighborhood. Here you're taking a look at Hanover Avenue, which is where we're building this house. So coming up in a few minutes at 6, we're going to explain how this is all a part of that greater vision to revitalize this area, and you'll have an opportunity to hear from the woman who's going to live here once it's all done. Reporting live in Roanoke, I'm Brittny McGraw, 10 News, working for you. Well, Representative Goodlatte said he got a call from his daughter worried that he was on that train. He was not. He actually drove here, but a lot of his colleagues were on the train, and they would have been on these train tracks that runs right by the Greenbrier and right up to its front entrance. He says his thoughts and prayers are with everyone who was involved with this crash. Now, right now, we want to give you a look at the train station where the train carrying GOP legislators would have arrived. Representative Goodlatte said his heart goes out to the person in the truck who died and also a second person who was hurt. He said some people on the train were hurt, including a congressman from Minnesota who may have suffered a concussion. He said most of the injuries were bumps and bruises and were pretty minor, and overall this shouldn't stop people from riding trains.
I think trains are generally very, very safe, and I love to travel by train, and I'm so thrilled that we now have rail service return to Roanoke.
As for the retreat, he says he's looking forward to talks about immigration and infrastructure. Vice President Mike Pence is expected to speak later tonight. Reporting live in West Virginia, I'm Brittny McGraw, 10 News, working for you. And this man you see here is one of the Randolph County deputies who responded to the 911 calls that you just heard. He was the one who grabbed Emma and got her out of the home. Deputy Jimmy Barnes shared what those moments were like.
Just went and got the girl, made sure she was safe, and took her out of the residence.
And with that swift move, Deputy Jimmy Barnes with the Randolph County Sheriff's Office helped end a nearly 2-day search for 7-month-old Emma Grace Kennedy.
Joyful. You're very happy, relieved to know that everyone came out unhurt and that she's safe. That's the best joy you can find.
Barnes said Carl Kennedy, Emma's dad and alleged abductor, was holding his daughter when they went in. He said the sheriff's office and other agencies worked around the clock to find them. Barnes said it's a huge relief to know that Emma is okay.
Once you get to the end and it's a good turnout like this, she's safe, no one's hurt. That's the best feeling you can get. It's all worth it.
And 10 News has been following this story every step of the way. We sent you this push alert as soon as we learned Emma Grace had been found safe. We also broke into programming this afternoon, but there's still a lot more to this story, and 10 News will continue to follow the case. Download the 10 News app and check out WSLS.com for updates. No one wants to live with this in their community. We're talking about tires, bottles, even a kid's tricycle right there, illegally dumped in the city of Roanoke. It's a problem that touches all parts of the city. I talked with city officials about what they're doing to keep this from happening. From southwest to southeast, northeast and northwest, city officials say people are illegally dumping in Roanoke.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised and disappointed.
Stephen Nemiche, president of the MELROSE-RUGBY Neighborhood Forum, says it's an issue he's seen in his own neighborhood.
In fact, when we've done cleanups, there have been some city staff who have volunteered their time to go pick up truckloads of tires from alleys and stuff.
10 News traveled across the city and found this illegal dump site on Campbell Avenue and this site along Barberry Avenue.
We have cameras, which we have put around the city.
Jeffrey Powell, manager of Roanoke Solid Waste Division, says they're cracking down on it, even prosecuting violators.
The inspectors have almost doubled the number of inspections that they conducted last year.
They're also working to get the community involved.
The MELROSE-RUGBY, Grayson area, that's what we plan on doing. The major cleanup is through here.
Starting with a clean sweep event in Northwest Roanoke this summer, the goal is to encourage everyone to take pride in where they live and stop illegal dumping before it starts.
We need to reestablish our relationships with our neighbors and work together as a community and have an understanding that we all in this together.
And this summer's Clean Sweep event is scheduled for July. Solid Waste Management says to date they have collected more than 900 tires across the city. Isn't it the best feeling when you find money that you forgot about, like perhaps a $10 bill that you left in your jeans that you find later? Well, we want to help you get that feeling by connecting you with unclaimed cash and property. Right now, the phones are ringing at the 10 News Find Your Money phone bank. 10 News reporter Rachel Lucas is standing by in the newsroom. And Rachel, how is everything going this afternoon? With every knock on a neighbor's door,
how you doing, sir?
And every conversation.
Well, we're conducting our community canvas. I wasn't sure if you were aware that that's something that we're doing in your area right now.
Officers with the Covington Division of Police are working to build relationships.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
I'm Sergeant Baker with the Covington Police Department.
By getting out and talking with as many people as they can.
We are going to go street by street, house by house. And whether it takes 4 months, 5 months, 8 months, a year, our goal is to make a connection with every citizen.
Officers started this community canvas this week.
This is what's called parish court.
Sergeant Richard Baker shared they want neighbors to be comfortable seeing officers in their neighborhoods and talking with them. It's an initiative Covington's new chief of police, Anthony Morgan Jr., wanted to get going.
If we make a connection with somebody and say 6 months to a year down the line, we have to come back for a call for service, they'll remember talking to me or another officer, and they'll remember that connection.
Larry Andrews says seeing an officer in his neighborhood makes him feel safe.
Sure is. That's what keeps the crime down. When you see an officer patrolling and in a neighborhood and stuff.
I appreciate you talking to me.
Officers hope this will help repair any broken relationships between the community and Covington Police.
Well, if you need anything else, you give us a call, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me.
In Covington, I'm Brittny McGraw, 10 News, working for you. Happening now, Lynchburg police and community leaders are coming together for a new initiative to end violence. 3 of the city's 4 homicides have all happened in the Diamond Hill area. The most recent case, the deadly shooting of Andre Watson, happened last weekend on 18th Street. Then in March, Ricky Johnson Sr. was gunned down on Fillmore Avenue. 18-year-old Jordan Keys was shot and killed in front of his home on Taylor Street in January. Lynchburg police say this new push is not just about getting information, but building trust between community members and law enforcement. Organizers will have food, music, and educational materials for neighbors. Coming up tonight on 10 News at 11, we'll show you how tonight's event went and talk with people in the Diamond Hill community. Question for you. When was the last time that you used cash to pay a friend back or split the check for lunch? So many of us now use apps on our cell phone like Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle. But as one Roanoke man found out, you may not have the protections that you think when you use those payment systems.
With one click, I sent that money and it was gone.
And for more than a month now, Jim Quinn of Roanoke has been trying to recover the $300 he sent to his son using Zelle.
I even went to BB&T in person to speak to the branch manager.
That somehow ended up in a stranger's bank account.
I could not believe that a system that is available through the larger banks and owned by the larger banks would allow that to happen.
Zelle is one of a growing number of peer-to-peer payment systems like Venmo or Cash App. It allows you to send money instantly using a mobile number or email address. More than 100 U.S. banks are a part of the Zelle network, including BB&T, Wells Fargo, SunTrust, and USAA. Jim thought if there were any problems, he'd be okay.
It has the number that I went to, and it's not his number.
Jim quickly learned banks will usually only refund unauthorized Zelle transactions. Otherwise, there are limited protections.
They called me up several days later and said that they had reached out to that person who accepted the money and could not get it back.
Julie Wheeler with the Better Business Bureau says while these systems are convenient,
it really makes it easy to move money back and forth between family and friends.
It's important to treat these transactions like cash and verify any contact information.
You want to make sure that information is up to date and accurate, and that if you're sending money, that the person knows that you're sending it.
10 News reached out to BB&T. They said they're investigating how Jim's money went to the wrong number and person. Jim says even if he doesn't get the money back, he doesn't want this to happen to anyone else.
A system that will allow you to send money without checks and balances, that the person that it's intended for isn't the person that got it. There's something clearly wrong with that.
BB&T also shared customers can cancel pending payments, but most are delivered instantly. Both sides have to agree to reverse payments that were sent in error, and senders should know their recipients.